guys, today we are going to talk about skincare. I want to talk about specifically how I'm teaching my kids who are 13 and 9.5 how to take care of their skin, what things they need to do and how to think about it. But first, for some reason, it only feels appropriate for me to get rid of all of this makeup and be a little more barefaced for this. So I will fix that now. That's more like it. Okay, let's jump right in. Skincare is a bit of a buzzword, and like a lot of buzzwords, I feel like it's lost a lot of its meaning. When I hear someone talk about skincare, I know they're getting ready to show me hundreds of dollars worth of products, and they're gonna walk me through very quickly with short jump cuts that could give someone a seizure, all the 18 steps of their night routine in terms of how they take care of their skin, on their face or whatever. And that's not what caring for your skin is. Caring for your skin, I learned from a dermatologist, really is primarily 3 categories of activities. And that is hydrating your skin, which moisturizer is part of that, but hydration is really more the term. Keeping your skin clean, cleaning it. So that's proactive things and then, getting it clean again. Also protecting your skin, primarily from the sun. There can be other things too, like protecting it from bugs, for example. Different things that you could do to protect your skin from bugs could maybe not be great for your skin. So I'm just gonna mostly talk about protecting your skin from the sun. A lot of us weren't explicitly taught this, I feel like. I feel like a lot of us were just given some things to do and told, hey, you're old enough now, you need to start washing your face. But we weren't maybe explicitly told, hey, these are the important whys behind your doing these things. This is how you care for your skin, so that you could maybe branch out and start to problem solve some of your own skin issues or deal with potential allergies or rashes or things like that. This is how we've taught our kids to care for their skin. I'm gonna make this as quick as possible so that it doesn't go on and on and on. So I will probably leave some things out, but you'll get a pretty good idea. And because we're talking about educating our kids, because we handle their education here ourselves, I will say another buzzword that has lost most of its meaning, a lot of its meaning, is the term homeschool. Homeschool, you will rarely ever hear me say it because I just cannot stand it. It has lost its meaning. Homeschool is totally inaccurate because I feel like it's like being an atheist. It's like being described by the opposite of what you are. So if you're an atheist, I'm just not a theist. And there's so much more to just not having a belief in God. I feel like homeschool is the same. The term I feel like probably exists because it's the opposite of sending your kids to a school situation. But if you're doing it right, if you're educating your kids right, giving them opportunities and expanding their world, expanding their horizons, helping them become more of whoever they're going to be, you're not staying home all the time. You're bringing them into the world, and you're also not just recreating school at home. The school system, it really is correlated with the lack of education. You can have an education without school, and you can have school without education. So they're not synonymous. They're not the same thing. What I'm doing is not school. While we do quite a bit at home, our home is a little bit weird because we also have a recording studio here. We also have a lot of different things here, but also we don't spend all of our time at home here doing everything here, sitting at desks, that kind of thing. Anyway, back to the skincare thing. I'm off my soapbox rant about the term homeschool, but I did want to touch on that because you will rarely ever hear me say it, and I want you to understand why. I hate the term. I really think people should stop using it. Let's start with hydration. Hydration, now, taking a step back, I do understand that protecting your skin from the sun and hydration can come in the same product or in the same activity sometimes. I do understand that, but we'll get to sun protection later. We're just going to talk about pure hydration without thinking about the sun. Okay, so the number one thing you can do to hydrate your skin, say it with me, drink water. That's what's in here. It's ice water. And we all know this. For me, with my kids, it's not just about drinking water. It's about the ratio of water to other things that they would drink so that they're always drinking way more water than other things. But also, it's maintaining your taste for water. So I have known a lot of people, and I know this wasn't on purpose, but we all oops our way into things that we didn't mean to do. I have known a lot of people who I care about, who are smart, who are loving parents, or just care about themselves, who don't like the taste of water. They can't drink water. They have to drink something else watered down, or they have to add, powders or syrups or whatever to whatever water they're drinking to make it palatable to them. That benefits your health in a lot of other ways as well. But so with hydration, it's having the ability and the enjoyment of just drinking straight up water. So that's from the inside out. That's the number one thing. We all know that. Topically, hydration. We have a few different things that we do. We have, and a lot of this is going to be Trader Joe's stuff because I like their stuff a lot and I like the price point for what you get. There we go. So this is rose oil. It's a facial oil. It's pretty cool. These glass jars are etched. You see the rose on the back? Well, you just pump, a few out and then just rub it all over your face after you get out of the shower. My kids primarily bathe at night, so this is a good one for nighttime. We also just have petroleum jelly. This isn't even Vaseline brand. It's Equate, so it's just the Walmart brand, but petroleum jelly. And this, something that's kind of fun about this is talking about, with other things in life, like food, for example, getting away from things being quite so processed. So that's one of the fun things about the petroleum jelly. There's barely anything in it. It's very, very, I don't know if I want to say natural, but it's just not as, it's been around forever and it's just not as engineered, I guess. It's a little more straightforward than other things. Another thing that's kind of new to my kids, another Trader Joe's product, it's oil-free antioxidant facial moisturizer. So that's moisturizer for the face. Typically these moisturizers would be used at night because obviously when you're going to be in the sunlight or possibly in the sunlight, you want to think about at least a little bit of sun protection. So those would mostly be at night or during the day if their face feels really dry. Body moisturizer. I've said before, I kind of recorded this before and now I'm re-recording it because I got out of order. My kids are, now that they're getting a little bit older and they're in puberty, they're starting to notice that the different parts of their body, their skin is a little different. Some parts of their skin are more sensitive. Obviously they get tan lines and so they can see, oh, the underside of my forearm is lighter than the other side of my forearm. So they're noticing more things. And so in terms of from the neck down moisturizers, they're noticing that their hands and feet are a little bit different than the rest of their body. And that's probably because I have extremely dry feet and I'm always lotioning my feet like almost every day, but body moisturizers. So I have always let them just pick whatever body moisturizer they want. Sometimes they've just used like a generic Walmart or Target like cocoa butter type of lotion that's only a few dollars for a big bottle. Sometimes they've picked something that's a little more fancy like this rose lotion. And then there have been times where I've bought, this is actually mine, but I've bought different things for them just to try. So this is from Trader Joe's. It's a lemongrass coconut body oil with almond and I don't know if it's jojoba oils or yoyoba oils. I thought it was jojoba, but a friend of mine said yoyoba. So that. And then this is a hand and body cream. This is also from Trader Joe's, and it doesn't even have a smell. It has Moroccan argan oil in it. So those are just some examples of body lotion. And after they shower, when they were really small, I always made them lotion their arms and their legs after they bathed. Now I have told them, if your skin is looking dry, that means you're not taking care of yourself and that's a problem. But otherwise, you guys can decide for yourselves if you need to lotion or not. Living where we live is extremely dry. We live near the Great Salt Lake in the Intermountain West, and wintertime is brutally dry. Like the static in the hair and everything. But during the summer, maybe not so much, depending on how much they're swimming. So I'm just leaving that to them to decide. If they're getting rashes from dryness, their hands are really red, or we can scratch lines on their legs, then they're neglecting themselves and that's a problem. Actually, no. So still on the body, this is another one. I think this is from Walmart or Bath and Body Works or something. These were really tall lotions, and I wanted to show this to you as an example. Because my kids buy their own personal items, now my husband and I pay for it, but we give them right now about $15 a month. It's getting ready to go up just because of inflation and because they need just more specialized things. However, but right now we give them $15 a month, so $180 a year. Because it's their money, they do things like this. So they cut, I think this is probably Francisca's, she cut the tops off of these and put them in a container with a lid so that she could use every last bit of that lotion instead of just, when she couldn't squeeze it out anymore, just throwing it away. So that's pretty cool. It's a side thing, but that's pretty cool. Hands and feet, just some other specialized things. I mostly use these things, but I have them around and occasionally they use them too. This is a hand cream from Trader Joe's. This one is a strawberry lemonade. This is a summer scent. It's like in a metal tube in there. So this is what it looks like. I use this a lot for my feet. My hands don't get too dry, but my feet do. And my kids have had a little bit of that. But so we have this for the extremities, I guess I would say. And then also the Trader Joe's body butter. So we have coconut body butter, and then a little more on the like clay pasty side. This is a little more like wet or liquidy, is a pumpkin body butter, also from Trader Joe's. So these are just for the feet. You could use them for the hands. I've noticed that after I shave, if I use these on my legs, that I get red spots all over because I think my pores just can't breathe. So I don't really use this on my body. Honestly, I think they've tried it sometimes, but I don't know if they do. Maybe, I guess you could use it on your belly or other places too. Elbows, if the elbows get really rough. Yeah, so that's some of the more extreme hydration stuff that we have. So for hydration, that was a lot of products. Like I said, the simplest, most important thing that you can do is to drink water. And my kids know that, so we drink a lot of water, but it is also topical stuff, right? So we have the topical things that they can use. And they know, like a lot of times, like if their skin starts feeling kind of itchy, it might be because it's a little too dry. Next, let's talk about cleaning. Cleaning the skin, there's proactive stuff, keeping it clean, but then also, you know, washing yourself every so often. So we've talked a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit about like your skin, how it flakes off and how the cycle goes with your skin. You know, you can clean your skin too much and you can clean your skin too little. They're not experts at this, but this is part of an ongoing conversation. So behind me, I have some cleaning stuff. So let me just grab that. Let's start with the face and work our way down again. For their faces, I know half of the people watching this are probably going to be like, oh yeah, I had that too. And then half the people watching this are going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so bad for your skin. But this is just the generic Target version. Walmart has a generic version. I think St. Ives is the original, is the apricot scrub. It's just like a tan-ish colored scrub with like little, it's not sand, but it feels like pieces of sand, and you just, you know, put that on your face to wash it. I have this tea tree oil face wash, again from Trader Joe's. And then I have this other one from Trader Joe's, which is an all-in-one facial cleanser. It says cleanser, exfoliant, tearless, antioxidant rich. We also have baby wipes. So these are just Kirkland Signature baby wipes. Even though we don't have babies anymore, once we had babies, we realized, oh my goodness, there's so many uses in a house for baby wipes. And so we go through a lot of baby wipes. We never stopped buying them ever since we stopped having babies. I mean, it's like bottomless how many things you can use them for. But so even just using a baby wipe and wiping your face off or cleaning your arms off, depending on what you're doing, if you're not going to be able to bathe or whatever. I mean, it's endless what you can do with baby wipes. So that's what I have for the face. And then for their bodies, I just have a few examples. We have bar soap. Yes, we have bar soap. We have actually a few different kinds of bar soap. We have some stuff that's maybe a little more fancy, at least to us, and some things that are less fancy. Just bar soap is not super fancy. And then we have loofahs. We have body wash. This is just an example. This is Method with coconut, rice milk, shea butter. This was in a multi-pack at Costco. It was on sale. And so I bought some to try it, and I like it. And sometimes actually I squirt just a little bit of this out and just use that to clean my face. So those are some of the things that we have for them to clean their bodies. My son uses a loofah. I don't know how many guys use loofahs or don't. My husband doesn't. My husband has always his whole life, and he just prefers it this way, is just to use like bar soap and just, you know, cleaning his body that way. So if there's something else, like I've shown my son, you know, you can use a rag, you can use, you know, your scalp is your skin. You guys can use, I've told both of my kids, you can use a scalp scrubber, whatever. The thing that you like slide your hand into it and it has a bunch of bumps on it, like for their scalps, but they haven't wanted to try that, so that's fine. But yeah, so that's what I have for cleaning. I feel like the cleaning part isn't really that complicated. I mean, not that any of it is, but there's not as many things that you need to do. I personally don't wash my face if I'm not in the shower. When I wear makeup, I always take it off at night, and I use a microfiber cloth. My daughter has some now too. And I just get it wet and I just take my makeup off with water basically, and then I put lotion on my face. I don't use any products for that or anything. Maybe at some point I will, I don't know. I'm just not that sophisticated, I guess, and I just haven't really had an abundance of time and interest to look into it, but maybe someday I will. Okay, so we've talked about cleaning. We talked about hydration first, and we've talked about cleaning. Now let's talk about protection. I think that the best protection from the sun is not in products like creams and lotions and things like that. I think it's in stuff like this, apparel and shade. We have planted so many shade trees on our property. Of course, they take years and years to grow, but we've planted a lot of shade trees on our property because that is just the best protection against the sun. But we also have sun hats. Look how intense this thing is. Let me show you. I'm going to try it on. So the story behind this hat, first, before I tell the story, look at it goes like to the edge of my shoulders. This is the most extreme sun hat I could find. So a few years ago, we went on a trip to Arches National Park. We were camping in the Devil's Garden campground there within the national park. We went in September. I didn't know how it would be really. I mean, you read the weather reports, but it's the extreme desert. Deserts tend to cool off at night and they get really hot during the day, really, colder at night. But I didn't know exactly how that would feel like in a tent. But I grew up in Girl Scouts, and I grew up camping in national parks, but they were all forests, like Yosemite, for example. And so I just was really paranoid that we were all going to be hot and faint and too tired to hike around, which was to some extent true, but not totally. So one of the things I did was I made sure everyone had major like sun protection, because there is something about, and I know here in Western culture, at least in my time, it's been very popular to wear tank tops and short shorts during the summertime. And I mean, I am not a super huge fan of covering up my skin, to be honest. But there's something about people from the Middle East, in the Islamic culture, that they cover their bodies a lot. I think that really does keep them cool in the summer, especially, whatever type of fabrics you're using, if they're really breathable. We've done more and more of that as the years have gone on. We also have sun shirts. This is kind of like it's similar to a swimsuit material. This was like $10 at Costco like 5 years ago. All of us have at least a couple of these so that we can wear them on bike rides, wear them just when we're out and about. We wear them to do yard work. We wear them for a lot of things. And you can just wear a tank top underneath it. So if you're in the shade, you can just take it off and tie it around your waist. But these are great. These hats are great. And then also just sunblock. I mean, obviously, but there's different kinds of sunblock. So when we're going to go swimming in the pool, I just get the stuff that has a good solid SPF. I try to stick with 50 or higher and just do really, really diligent coverage. We try not to use the spray, like the aerosol can stuff, for a number of reasons, but none of us really like it. And we try to use lotion as much as possible and be really diligent about following the instructions about not, just jumping into the pool and like rinsing it off right away, reapplying, things like that. But when we're not going to be in a pool, I am really particular about that it doesn't feel like you're wearing sunblock. It doesn't have that like oily, greasy thing going on. So I do have an example of it, and that would be this Neutrogena 55 SPF. Obviously, this kind of sunblock is a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it, especially when you're not wearing short shorts and a tank top, so you go through, a third of this just in one go. We also have, this is an old classic product. I mean, this has been around for decades, just Olay face lotion. This one has an SPF of 15. So this is like a regular daily lotion, just starting the day, whether we plan on going outside or not. It's just a good like base layer of some kind of protection. Trader Joe's has their own kind of copycat version of it. It's smaller. You can see the side-by-side comparison of the sizes. And then Trader Joe's has a daily facial sunscreen. It comes in a box that is smaller, but it's one of those where it's sweat resistant, it's not oily, it's an SPF of 40, which is really nice. And so I am particular about the sunblock. Not all sunblock is the same. So we have swimming sunblock, we have body sunblock, we have face sunblock, we have clothing that we wear. We use the shade as much as possible. We have a couple of really big sunshade like canopies that are like, I think 12 feet by 12 feet. So what would that be? 4 yards by 4 yards. And we throw those up sometimes when we're like working on sprinklers or doing projects in the yard where we're going to be in one spot for a while, just to protect ourselves from the sun. I am in my early 40s now, and I first went to the dermatologist for myself when I was 39, and the dermatologist basically told me. I told them about my background. I don't live where I grew up. So I kind of told them about my background and how I would fight my mom on wearing sunblock. And so she pretty soon after, I don't know, me having an awareness that I could tell her no, she just pretty soon just never told me to wear sunblock ever again. And my doctor basically said, yeah, it sounds like by the time you were 8, you had used up all your free in the sun, no sunblock days, like in a lifetime that you could have. So I am like on skin cancer watch. I had an actinic keratosis here around that time that was not cancerous, but I abused my skin really badly. And I wasn't even a sun bunny. You know, I never used like tanning oil or whatever and laid out to try to get tan. I just lived in the sun. SoCal kid, right? Like less than an hour from the beach. We had a pool, everyone had a pool, and we were outside all the time. We didn't have real winter. I mean, it wasn't normal to swim on Christmas Day, but we did swim on Christmas Day a couple of times that I remember. So it's really important to me that my children are enabled and equipped to care for their skin and make their own choices, you know, especially as they start having more breakouts and issues with their skin. I want them to understand the different things that can be going on. Getting deeper into understanding skin is another story. Like I said, this is more about caring for their skin and some new products that they're kind of learning about now that they're older and they have more of an interest in skin. I have a few things here. I have other things too, but these are more for them. I have a retinol night serum here. It's still in the packaging and everything. So they're going to learn about that and understand what that's all about. And then this is just an antioxidant facial serum. The last thing that I have here to show you is a hyaluronic moisturizer boost serum. And these are all things that I have had, you know, that have been mentioned by a dermatologist, just categories of things. They didn't necessarily recommend these products, you know, specifically. As I'm teaching my kids about these different products and what they do, and we get deeper into caring for your skin and not just staying at cleaning, how do you want to clean it, but different ways to clean it, you know, different products that work in different ways, you know, like we haven't talked about exfoliating your skin or anything like that. As we talk about hydrating your skin, as we talk about protecting your skin from the sun and, you know, specific fabrics and how they block your skin from the sun. I mean, and that gets into science, right? Like nanotechnology and all of that. It's kind of nice to have this foundation of you hydrate your skin, you clean your skin, you protect your skin from the sun. That's where we've started. That's kind of where we're at. Like I said, we're starting to kind of expand into these different products and different, okay, so why is antioxidant important? I know about antioxidants in terms of food and berries and things like that, but that's really interesting and understanding how the skin works and all of that. Yeah, it's fun. We're having a good time. There's a lot of stuff around me right now. All right, so that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.